Hello.
What's up?
Thank you for taking the time to be here with me and talk to me and answer these questions. So the first thing that I'm going to need you to do is to introduce yourself. What is your name and what is your background?
My background as in...
It can really be anything, like in terms of like what you do or who you are.
My name is Kiana Faulkner Smith. I am 20. I'm in the School of Drama for acting track with a minor in playwriting and directing.
So I know you're at the School of Drama. How did you get into acting? And when did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
I used to try to do drama in like 7th grade, but then I didn't audition for my first show until like maybe my sophomore year of high school. And I auditioned because I was in the drama class and you were required to, but I ended up getting cast as the lead. And that was as Ava in Freedom Writers. And I was like, might be onto something here. How did I realize that was what I wanted to do? I don't know, like when I was more excited for drama class than anything else, I was like, maybe this is the thing.
Okay, I feel that. As an actor and singer, I'm sure you've had to audition for a lot of productions. What is your favorite audition story?
My favorite audition story, it was actually my last year at my old college. I was auditioning for Eurydice, and I ran, when you go into an audition, they give you these papers, and you're supposed to take all the, like you fill it out, you know, with your name and like your resume, and you're supposed to take all the papers in with you. I left all of my papers outside the car room, so I ran in, like, and you have to run down this long hallway, so I ran in and I get to the stage, I'm like, all right, and she's like, yeah, you got the papers? I was like, shit. So I had to run back and grab the papers, and when I got back to the stage, I'm like huffing and puffing, and I was like, okay, and I had to deliver my monologue just like that. Like, she's like, whenever you're ready, but I was so nervous already because I had wasted so much of her time that I just delivered my monologue all out of breath, but I got the lead anyway, so it was all good.
Yay! When did you, like, how do you know, or when can you tell that you've had a good audition?
Auditioning is rough. You can tell you had a good one when you walk out and you're like, there's nothing that I could have done better, I guess. I actually had an audition on Sunday where I left and I was like, that was as good as it was gonna get. So when you're comfortable in knowing that whether you get the role or not, you did, like there wasn't something that you could have done better to make you more eligible for the role. So now I know that if I don't get the role, it's because of something that was completely out of my control. So.
If you weren't a drama major, what else would you be getting a degree in?
I was actually getting a degree in like health. I was going to be a surgeon before, but that isn't what I would want to do. If I wasn't going to school for acting or anything drama related, really, I would be a restaurateur. I would own restaurants.
You owned one before,
I did own a restaurant before.
We've had conversations about your desire to be on Broadway. If you could choose a Broadway performer to teach a class for you, which one would it be?
All the Broadway performers, that's crazy. I would pick, she's not really, like, she doesn't only do Broadway, but I would pick Uzo Aduba. I hope that's the way you pronounce it, oh my God. Because she went to Juilliard, you know, she's from New York, she was on Broadway before she made her transition to film and television. I would just want to learn from her.
How do you overcome nervousness on stage? And if you don't get nervous, what are your tactics?
Every actor has to get nervous. Like if you don't get nervous, then you don't care enough. So that's kind of terrifying. But the way I get over nervousness, I think everybody has like a thing they have to do. A lot of people like pray or meditate. I always pray in the VOM. The VOM is the little area on the side of the stage that actors come through. So I always pray in the VOM, and then I'll take a really deep breath, like I can't take in any more air, and then I just let it out really slow, and then I think about it's this thing called like previous circumstances. Oh, my teacher will be so disappointed. Something, you think about what is being said to you right before you go on stage to deliver your line. So when you walk on stage, you're already living as your character, and so when you walk on, it's like a continuation of who you are. So you don't just walk on stage and lights come up and you're that person, because that really makes you nervous when you feel like you're not prepared. I have to already be living as who I'm about to be living as.
See, I wish I had that when I had to perform. Past weekend, you've had a show called Alice Wonder at 54 Below, which we're all very proud of you for.
Thank you.
With an all-black cast. What would you say is the difference between being in all-black productions versus being in predominantly white productions?
The difference is like so monumental. Okay, so this was said a lot during our rehearsals. It just feels like, it would just be like, we would do something like, I don't know, I applaud Black people for everything, like just like breathing. I'm like, look at you, like, yes, like fuck it up. But we would all be, you know, like breaking or something. It's just like, I love the fact that it not only did it have an all Black cast, it had all Black directors, all Black writers, and it was just like, I don't know, being in predominantly white cast, which is the majority. I've never been in an all Black cast before up until now. There's always a sense of like walking on eggshells a little bit, like, there is a sense that I can't really put into words. Being in an all Black cast feels like being home, and everything else feels alien, but that is the norm, and that's gonna be the norm, so it's normal. So it's like it is rare to find. I'm so grateful for that experience, because it really feels like it's like magic, and like everything you do, everything anybody does is the support system. It's just, I just love Black people. Like, I just love it. It was great. It was an amazing experience. I don't know how to describe it. It was amazing.
Well, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Do you usually audition for productions where the character you play is a Black woman, or like, have you ever had to play white women? Like, what's usually the dynamic?
Yeah, the only Black women roles that I have ever been cast as have been either mistresses or maids. And so when I do audition for shows, I do audition for what is there. It doesn't always list race, because in the theater we kind of have a lot of wiggle room as to who can play what. I mean, typecasting is definitely a thing, but when I audition for stuff, I don't audition for, like, I audition for the character, not the ethnicity. So a lot of times I am cast as characters that are not Black, and I've only been cast as 2 Black characters. Yeah.
Okay. Acting, just like any other art form, has its biases, one with being Black and then also 2, being a Black woman. How do you stray from stereotypes, as well as how do you combat them?
Like I said, I've been cast as maids. Actually, I was story right before, for my audition for this school, I had a director at my old college who I came to for help. I wanted her to give me her input on which monologue I should choose to audition with. So after reading her like 3 or 4 monologues that I thought, you know, fit my personality type very well, she was like, no, Kayana, none of those are gonna work. I was like, why? She's like, you need to pick something Blacker. And so I was like, I don't even know what that means. She's like, if you're gonna showcase yourself, you wanna showcase the best that you have to work with. I was like, so, yeah, and I have played, it's so degrading actually to, like, when you read a script, knowing who you're going to be cast as. Like, when I read a script for a show I did a few years back, and I saw that it had a maid role, I did not even have to guess as to what my part in the show would be, because I was the only Black person in the whole production, and it would have just been unnatural to make me not the maid. So but it was still very degrading, and it was very hard to do. But I had to remember that you're not going to be able to stray away from these. Like, I'm gonna be Black all the time. Like, I'm never not gonna be Black, and because theater is something that I want to do forever. People tell you to get used to playing your type, but there are different ways to play your type than just playing your skin color, because I heard horror stories of people who their personality is not black enough for the show that they're auditioning for. They're like, can you read that blacker? And it's like, I don't know how to be blacker than I am. Like this is kind of as good as it gets. So it's kind of just, I try to always just like audition true to myself and speak to directors true to myself and never try to be more ethnic so that I will be cast to type, because I personally despise typecasting, and I think that it's so harmful to the actual art form, because you can cast a character who is white or another race for a role that I could have played just as well, but because there's a role that I could play and I'm black, it's like, it's bad for business and it's bad for the show. So it's kind of like, you don't really get away from it, you just try to like deal with it and hope that it changes in the future.
Do you have hope that it'll change?
I think that the more, well, speaking as a black person, like we are right now on a huge art come up, and like we're like taking over everything in terms of art, and like I'm in full support, and I do think that that's gonna leak into the theater, but everything is predominantly white. Like that's always the norm. Anything else is exotic or ethnic. So it's kind of like, I don't know how quickly it's gonna change, but I feel like, yeah, things like 54 Below, what I just did at 54 Below with the Alice Wonder thing, that was honestly like mind-blowing to me that we were able to do that in a historically white establishment and have a sold-out show. Like,
yes.
And so yeah, I do have hope that it will change. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and spending this time. It was good to hear your thoughts.
You're welcome.
Thank you.